PGS has already spoken about, what is it to be inspired? That beautiful quote, part of that quote, it says, when you are inspired, dormant faculties, talents, and forces are awakened, and you become far greater than what you ever dreamt of yourself. Our former President Abdul Kalam loved this quote, and everywhere where he would speak, he would make audiences repeat this. We have to look for ways and sources of inspiration. And whenever you are inspired, just like what Patanjali said, you are not limited to your body-mind complex. Your body-mind complex is something that you function through, but you become a conduit for a greater source. I can't think of a better example of inspiration than, I'm not sure if it is my next slide, but I will tell you a story. It's a story we all know from the Ramayana. When Lakshman was seriously injured because of a head injury, in those far-off days, people knew of a medicine to help a head-injured person recover, which modern neurosurgeons are not aware of. What is that medicine which can help a head-injured person to recover consciousness? Sanjeevani. And where is Sanjeevani available? Somewhere in the Himalayas. And who would you depute to go there very quickly? You depute Hanuman because he's got a personal jet with a global navigation system. He could reach that exact spot. And once Hanuman reached that spot, he was in a dilemma. The dilemma was he could not exactly identify what Sanjeevani was. Sanjeevani was part of a forest on a hill, and the brief was just too big for him. So what does Hanuman do? Can you carry a mountain that is bigger than you? Is it practical? So what does Hanuman do? There is one step that he does before that. He grew so big that the mountain became small, isn't it? Isn't that what's being inspired? When you can become so big, you are given a brief. You remember that little girl called Lakshmi? Lakshmi, who had 8 limbs. I will show you her pictures. As neurosurgeons, we are glorified carpenters. When a person comes with a clot into the head, we do a scan, and then we drill holes, cut open the skull. Now that's our job. But then the big challenge came one day when they brought a girl like this. She had 8 limbs, and half the body had to be cut, and you can see one part of the body did not have a head. Now she already had a bad injury. We had to do something. But the first feeling was like that Hanuman feeling, I can't do it. It's too big for me. I don't want a dead child in my hands. If she's going to have a natural death, that could be a better option. But then we looked into it again, and each one of us looked into ways to be inspired. Let us see what exactly is the problem is. Can we identify the problem? We did a scan, and in the scan she looked like this. She had one set of organs to make a viable child. The other child was not viable. If you see the spinal cord of the child was fused with the spinal cord of the twin, and as a neurosurgeon, my decision was whether it is safe to separate the spinal cord of the child and the twin. As a surgeon, I said, that's my job, it's easy to do. And when I decided as a neurosurgeon that this is possible, the other teams decided that they can do their jobs. So when the problem is broken down to smaller components, each of us got together, and this miracle baby within 5 days, this is how she looked. I've got... Again, I go back to the Hanuman. Really, we don't take credit for it. We know what little we did, and somebody else actually gets the credit. Go back to the Hanuman example. Whenever you've come across a situation when your mind says, I can't do it, either break it down into smaller problems or become so big, get inspired. And once you are inspired, you are like Edmund Hillary, who saw a model of Mount Everest, and he said, there is no way you're going to get any bigger than you are, but I can get bigger than you and I can conquer you. In a hospital, we see time and again very sick people. People, going through so many problems. Here is a lady who's going through dialysis. Her blood is going through a machine which is purifying it and goes back to her. Those who get into dialysis every other day have to go into a machine to get their bloods purified. Soon after the break, before you go home, which is the first room you're going to? Whenever I go to the restroom, I'm reminded of the slide to say, thank God for those 2 internal dialyzers that are working painlessly for me right now. I don't have to pay anything. If you look and value your own physical body, how much you will pay for your eyes, for your heart, for your liver, for your kidney, what happens? You become so rich. An eloquent elderly gentleman said, as you get older, you realize how many organs are there in your body. When you are young, everything is so, we take our health, our life for granted. Now, if you're able to say how lucky I am, you are an empowered person. Because you can never be grateful and miserable at the same time. And whenever you feel grateful, you are empowered. You are like Hanuman, you will be able to see, what is that I can do? See this beautiful poem which says, I have never made a fortune and it's probably too late now, but I don't worry about that much. I'm happy anyhow. As I go along life's ways, I'm reaping better than I sowed. I'm drinking from my saucer because my cup has overflowed. If you can wake up every morning with a feeling of how lucky I am, then you're looking for the day to say, what is that I can do? What is this I can make to make a difference for today? Really, I was talking about that golden Buddha story. Is there something that I do, or I need to take off all that which is unnecessary? I really need to work on the clay. I need to work on the demon inside me to be able to, because the essential intrinsic goodness in me is already there. I need to work on that clay that is restricting me. There were 2 little brothers who were talking to each other. The younger brother asked the older brother, Anna, every time why should I say ABC? Why not ACB? So the older brother said, simple. First you must be, then you can see. You know what excellence is all about? And I think some of the few previous speakers, especially Father Gaspar Raj, spoke about it very beautifully. Excellence is being you, excellence is being here, and excellence is being now. Excellence is not about being anybody else. It's essentially because, there is no, in this whole planet, there isn't another person just like you. You haven't another clone. Now, whoever is our creator has created each one of us separate because he knows that we have a song to sing, we have a certain purpose to be here. And we have a role. I do matter. If I feel I'm here for a purpose, then I will work my way. I don't have to be the very best in the world. But can I be the best in my world? In my little world that I am, can I make a little difference to us? Before we go, can we have a little test? And this is a little test of excellence. Now, even those at the back, can you keep your hands in front of you? I want to watch you. Keep your hands so that I can watch you. I want you to watch me very closely. Just follow my instructions. Play this game. Play it very sportingly. The instruction is very simple. I appreciate all of you doing this game too. Ready? Now, I'll be going very quickly. A loud clap at the count of 5. Are you ready? At the count of 5, a loud clap. I'll go very fast. 1, 2, 3. Did you follow my instructions or did you follow my actions? You got it? It is said, who you are speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you say. As a leader in an organization, you communicate not by what you say, but by who you are. And that is why Stephen Covey has said, if you have to be, are you with me? Are you with me? Stephen Covey has said, if you have to be a leader of a large number of people, he says, private victory precedes public victory. And many of our speakers in the panel have spoken that you communicate not by your own example, and that's where we need to work.